Ladies and gentlemen, we are right now at one special pyramid at Island Iž, at Hotel Korinjak, with one special guest. And this is my friend Jos. Phoneme I could not repeat, but please repeat it by yourself, please.
My full name is Jos Galdermans, often pronounced in these regions by Galdermans. And yeah, I'm happy to be here for the 7th year again.
Seventh year?
Yes.
Wow.
The first year was enough experience for me to say, this is where I want to be every year. Because it's a wonderful place to be. I love the sun, I love the Adriatic, I love the sea, the people very nice. But it's a wonderful place where you have kind of international gathering of people and a beautiful combination of dancing, sea, relaxation, good vegetarian food. It seemed like paradise.
Can I ask you, you are from Netherlands, right?
Yes.
So Netherlands is not so close,
not so
close to Croatia. How did you found this marvelous place?
Well, as a sacred dance teacher, I'm always open to new environments, new places to give workshops in, because the combination of beautiful countryside, peacefulness, together with the sacred dance, and the fact that people are away from home, so they're kind of open, fresh, and maybe less busy with their daily worries, is helpful. So every year in summertime I did 1 or 2 workshops either in Germany, Belgium, France. There was this colleague of mine which I met in Spain, living in Slovenia, and we thought, well, maybe we can do something together. So that was the first time I came over this region in Slovenia, in Salinera, Hotel Salinera. And then one of the Slovene participants said to me, well, if you're looking for a nice space, I know a very nice space in the Dalmatia. And we go there every year in Hotel Korinjak in Dalmatia. So I said, okay, let's do that next year. And that was 2000, and since then, 2010. And since then, I'm addicted to Iž, and I love to come here. Yeah.
Okay, secret dances.
Sacred.
Sacred, sorry, sacred.
But it's interesting you say that, because that is an easy mistake, and there's nothing secret about it. And sacred is an interesting word, because in sacred you think, oh, church and everything, but sacred, like, I can best explain it in English, holy and whole, they come from the same origin. So sacred also comes from this origin where everything is whole, one. And it's also where the word healing comes from. So sacred dance, you could say, is a kind of way to restore this unity, to restore this wholeness in us. Because by daily living we tend to lose that. And it's a kind of meditation. You can sit on the floor for half an hour, close your eyes, that's meditation, but this is a meditation in motion, you could say. And of course also inspiration with the beautiful music and the movement and the sounds. It's just another way of getting closer to your inner self, your inner core, where there is wholeness, harmony, and it's a lovely way to meditate, you could say.
But how you started? How you found it? What dragged you in this way?
Yeah. It was interesting. I was part of a meditation group, and there was a special coach, a teacher, a woman who is very intuitively gifted, and she has a very, very clear sight, inner sight. And she said, I think sacred dance might be something for you, she said. Okay, well, let's try, why not? So I tried one weekend, and I was struck by lightning. Just, wow, there's this. And something very deep resonated in me. Oh, I want to have more of this. And also a vague feeling of, but I know this from somewhere, like it's a very, very old memory. So that was the first love I had for the sacred dance. And I did a few weekends and they were marvelous. And then somehow, like it often happens in life, I kind of forgot about it. And daily life goes on, and busy, busy, busy. And then 4 or 5 years later, somebody mentioned sacred dance, and I woke up again. Oh, sacred dance! Oh, that was wonderful. And he says, yes, I heard there is a professional training in that. You can become a sacred dance teacher. And there was this flash again. Puff! That's what I want to become. So I applied for the course. It was a selection. And after these 3 weekends, you decide from both sides whether they think you are able to become a professor of sacred dance and whether you like it and whether it feels good.
It's like a school.
And the click was there.
It's like a school.
It's a school. Yeah. So I'm a teacher at that school now myself. And so I did this 3-year training. Not full time. It's part time. It was 2 weekends a month. And since then I'm practicing it all over Europe, Ireland, England, especially I go to special spots like Glastonbury in England, a special place in Ireland, where the energy of the environment somehow augments the effect, makes the effect greater and deeper. In a way, Isch is also a place like that. I mean, it's the beautiful nature, the relative calmness, not so much now because this is really high season. The hotel is completely full, but in 1 or 2 weeks' time it will be different and calm, very calm again. So that's a bit of story about and how I came to it. And it fitted in very well for me because I'm already a practitioner of natural medicine. I was a yoga teacher years ago. And it was just another field
expression or something.
Yeah, another expression for ways of healing, to stimulate people to get into contact with this inner source. It's just as healing as giving herbal remedies or doing massage. So it fitted in very well for me. For me, it's all branches of the same tree.
Tell me something about the origin of sacred dancing, or well, dancing is part of any culture from beginning. What can you say about it?
Well, in our times, apart from the fact that dancing is from all ages, there was a special guy, a professional ballet dancer, Bernhard Wosin from Germany, and so he had a professional life as a solo dancer. Then later on in life he became a choreographer, and he was very much interested in old European folklore. And he noticed, which was of course not completely new, that these old folklore dances had often very deep meanings. They were about the contact of man between heaven and earth, life and death, the cycle of death and being reborn, and all those kind of things. So he studied that, and he went to all those countries, and he was interested in philosophy and religion and Freemasonry and all these things he kind of combined. He made his own choreographies, and the point when he was invited to come to Findhorn in Scotland, this spiritual community in the north of Scotland, it was like it happened with me. There was a kind of thunderbolt. It struck to people. They were, wow, these are sacred dances. Before it was dance meditation, and now the term sacred dances appeared, and from there it kind of spread. England, the continent, and then there started people to do the dances he did, and then in Holland there was a school set up exactly according to his ideas. That he would have loved to have a school like that, but he died in his late 70s, and he didn't have time to set up this school. But the school we have now is according to his ideas, with philosophy and folklore and music, and of course sacred dance and spirituality, all those things combined. So that is how it started, and then it spread over the world. And of course, every teacher brings it a little different than other teachers, like you have with yoga as well, with everything.
When I was shooting, also you saw it in video, there are different kind of music took from around the world. I was really impressed. I thought, okay, it's going to be something, I don't know, some special type of music, but no.
No.
It's international thing. It's something which it's implied. You just take a right song and you combine it with right music.
It all starts
dancing
with sound, the music.
With sound, yeah.
I will never do a dance if I'm not touched by the music. And even if the dance is nice, but if the music doesn't touch me, it doesn't work for me.
Did you chose those music by yourself?
What? No. Part of those dances I do are mine, are own choreographies. So I chose the music, to do it on, and other dances are chosen by other people. Sometimes I might find another version of the music, or maybe even a totally different music which I like more, and I might swap it. But the music is very important, because the music touches you right, goes very quickly. It passes the brain, buff, it goes to the heart. And that's what we want. I mean, that is where all this work is being done for, mostly for the heart energy. And of course the other chakras come also in, but it's
love.
Basically love energy. Basically love energy, and to be able to use that for yourself and the world around you. That's the idea.
Unconditional love.
But the music is very different. It differs from Bach and Vivaldi up to modern composers like Arvo Pärt, which is lovely meditative choir work. But there's also Greek, Bulgarian, Russian.
Yeah, I heard Greek music also.
Dancers from former Yugoslavia. I love to incorporate, because we work with this combination of energies. So you can be deep meditative, very silent, but you can't constantly do that. You need also to quicken the blood and to express the joy of life. So you need, and folklore dances are wonderful for that. You know, wow, it's good to be alive, joy. It's good to be together, or to ground, to stamp, and to. So occasionally I sew these dances in between the more meditative ones.
Combine it nicely.
To make kind of like a bouquet of flowers.
Yes,
so
exactly.
you get all these flowers have their energy and they contribute to the whole.
Do you combine that technique, if I can say it like that, or dance or healing process with something else, with some other techniques maybe, or?
Well, I think which is automatically, I try to work a lot with energy. So you could say, I mean, if we're standing like this and we're very conscious that this represents the heart center, and people can feel immediately that this starts to work more. So the energy from the hands is roughly what happens with Reiki.
With Reiki.
Kind of going out. So yes, there will be a combination with other techniques. I often stimulate people to breathe really freely during the movement, so you have that effect as well. Because especially with new dances, people tend to freeze. And what's happening next? Am I doing it right? So breath and relaxation is a big part of it. Stillness. We have moments after the dance where we stay just a very short time just in silence. So there's also silence meditation.
Yeah, I saw that every dance, actually every part stops. You stop the process and let it come.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it when I shoot it. It's really calm.
Yeah, it has to kind of sink down to the ground. So what we never do is after the dance immediately draw back our hands, or you stay in that position, you have the contact, and it kind of sinks down to the ground, and then you're free for the next happening.
I saw that there are a lot of Slovenian tourists or participants on your class.
In general, there are a lot of Slovenians.
But I heard that you bring people from Netherlands too.
Yes, from the Netherlands, from Belgium. Last week they just left was an Irish couple, an English couple. Last year there were people from Mexico and from the United States.
Wow.
So it's quite international.
International,
and that's one of the things I love too. I love speaking different languages. I love switching from French to German to English.
You told me about your beginnings with this marvelous dance, but how did you came? What triggers you that you start to go on this alternative path of living, say we like that? You said that before going to teaching dancing, you practice yoga, you practice Reiki. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
so what was the first trigger in your life? How does it happen?
I don't know. From when I was 16, I was very much interested in Oriental philosophy, in yoga, in alternative medicine. At a surprisingly young age, I mean, compared to a lot of other people. So I've always done things like that. It just comes natural. And to me, it seemed like natural medicine, like with sacred dance, combines so many aspects of body, soul, spirit. That for me it was clear that this is the profession that has all these aspects, the aspects of the old type village doctor, you could say, who knew everything about your family and who could also talk about other things than your illness. The pastor or the vicar of the village, caring about your spiritual side. The coach or friend. So all these things are combined in my profession of natural medicine, and also the profession of sacred dance teacher, because you talk a lot with people, and you learn about their processes, and you listen and sometimes advise them, and you can see that the dance helps them to free themselves or to become more themselves. So I've always been interested in this
That's
whole
very
field.
nice. Because I believe that you are, well, lucky one, something like that, because you listened yourself and you saw that, wow, this is something which I want to feel, so you listened yourself. But there are other people, usually people that are confronting the nature of their way, are usually confronting themselves with some illness or something, and sometimes illness can be a good trigger for changing a way of path, or to recognize, oh, I don't want to feel just these material things, I just want, oh, there are some other things, oh, something is happening, what I must do to be better, or to be healthy, or something like that. So there are beginners on this way, which have very, very big difficulties, sometimes near to death. I heard a lot of stories. So what can you recommend to those people? What they must do, or what they must listen, or what kind of advice do you have for those kind of people? Because this, I believe, is the most problematic because after then you have one technique, second technique, and something like that. But at the beginning you don't know nothing. You are, if you ill, then you are devastated, and sometimes friends are changing, and so on and so on.
Yes, it's not so easy to give advice that would fit everybody, I think. In every stage of your development, whether you are in a crisis or whether you are already beyond that, I think the most important thing is that you try as much as possible to stay in the center of this turmoil, of all these doubts and fears and physical problems, is somehow not identify yourself completely with the problem, but that you see yourself as in the midst of this problem, and the problem is around you, not that you are the problem. You inside you are never the problem.
Of course.
The problem is in the personality, the problem is in the head, the problem is in the lack of consciousness, but never in your inner core. So that is perfect, whatever you do, whatever you feel. And I think that helps a lot, because then you can take a little distance from all this panic and all this nervousness and say, okay, there is panic in me, but I'm not the panic. And I think if people can become more confident in that, and then they have moments, oh yeah, it passes, the fear passed. Okay, so I'm not the fear, I'm not the illness. And I think that is important. And then second, if you become a little more quiet in that, not to identify you with your problem, then your feeling becomes to be more precise on what is good for you. And it could be totally different from what is good for you.
Of course.
Or good for the other person.
Everyone is...
the path could be very individual.
Yeah.
So then you start to feel better, which attracts you. And I think in that sense, women have it easier than men, because we are not so easy in following our intuition. We want to understand it all, which is not going to work. So it's for them easier. That's one of the reasons you find much more women here than you find men.
That's true.
Because when it has to do with personal development, letting go of the ego, not thinking but following intuition, we have a lot to learn. Absolutely.
Indeed.
Yeah. So
especially with ego.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So pride and ego and what do people think of me is only getting in the way, really. Yeah. And still, it's human. So that's another thing we can say. Okay, it's in me, but I'm not that.
Yes. And for the end, how about the future? Do you have some plans? I mean, coming here is obviously your path.
Well, to be honest, I would love to live here. I would love to live here. I mean, now I come here for a month or something, but I'd love to live here, or maybe partially live here, because Dalmatia is like a nourishment to me, where you can see from my tent. I love the sun, so the sun and the sea is kind of like what do you call it? I suck it up like
like
just
a sponge.
to get like a sponge to get through the northern winter, which is dark and cold, and but I would love to live here, or at least spend more time here. And for the rest, I try to listen as much as possible, also for what it is meant to be, not so much what would I like, what, and that is very hard, because of course we all want to do what we like, but try to feel what is meant to be, what is the good thing to do.
Your path.
My path, exactly. So I expect it will be continuing dance, energy work. I've been teaching natural medicine also for a long time at academies for natural medicine. I will do that less. I think more dance, more international work, traveling to energetic spots, and try to become more and more what I am. Well,
Jos, what to say then? I wish that that everything what you want comes true, and even more than that, and that you still come here and make these wonderful classes for dancing, which is, I believe, something that I didn't saw in my life. It's really wonderful combination of meditation and dancing, which is from my point of view sometimes very contradictory, but obviously sacred dances have a formula to join those things with wonderful energy, and enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you.